On Cork's 96 FM.
This is an email that came in relating to safety concerns among residents in Ballincollig at Castlepark. So the email goes, I wish to highlight a situation that has become unbearable. I would like to remain anonymous as those of us living here are currently living in fear and fear our homes will be targeted if we speak out. Our children are at huge risk, yet the council doesn't seem to care and the guards often don't show up. Something tragic is going to happen here, and by then it will be too late. We are being tormented by youths, a situation anyone from Ballincollig will be well aware of. The rise of e-scooters and scramblers since Christmas. Well, this problem has escalated. Most of these youths received electric scooters for the holidays, and it is now constant. They have been joined by others on petrol scramblers and motorbikes racing up and down the estate and over speed ramps. Some are even smoking weed while operating these vehicles. They hang around everywhere, even directly outside the houses of our elderly neighbours. The state of lawlessness. Castlepark has become a no-go area because the estate has so many entry points. It has become a magnet for people who do not even live here. The children of the estate no longer come out to play because their parents are in constant fear for their safety. Last week, a stolen car tore through the estate, nearly hitting a pedestrian on the path before the drivers lost control and fled. Lack of protection. These individuals are lawless. It's only a matter of time before they hit a child or a car or kill themselves on the bikes they're riding. Unfortunately, we have no Garda station in Ballincollig that operates at night, leaving us vulnerable when we need most help. Something needs to change before a life is lost. Signed, a very concerned resident of Castlepark in Ballincollig. That person is obviously at their wits' end, and it's terrible that they are so fearful that they just can't give a name. But they and many others in Castlepark, in Ballincollig, are living in fear, and that's the reality. Councillor Joe Lynch of Sinn Féin, what do you make of that email? Good morning.
Good morning, Paul. Well, look, I think the email sort of speaks for itself. I am aware of serious issues that have been happening in the estate in the past, well, certainly the past week. It seems to have gotten worse than it's ever been. And I know there are residents that are extremely concerned. Now, look, speaking for myself, I've flagged the issue with Gardaí on numerous occasions. I suppose there is a particular issue around these types of machines where people can, evade the Gardaí, I suppose, for want of a better term. But really, we need to see a robust policing response to ensure that this issue is dealt with.
City Centre, we took hold of 48 new guards, and the city has really transformed big time. Operation transformation, really. Why can't the same be done for Ballincollig, Carrigaline and other areas like it?
Absolutely, and it's an issue that actually I raised at a meeting of Cork City Council in December. And look, I think anybody who's been in and around the city centre knows that the increase in Gardaí is very welcome. I think it's changed things for the better. But what we need to see now is, a redeployment of Gardaí into the suburbs as well, including Ballincollig, because I know there are challenges there in terms of manpower at this present time. But that's no excuse. The Gardaí have the powers to seize these bikes, these scooters. They were given that power under changes to the Road Traffic Act a number of years ago. And they need to be able to utilise those powers, ensure these machines are taken off the road, and to ensure that residents in places like Castlepark can, enjoy their lives and go about their lives without fear of being knocked down by one of these things. Because actually one of the particular issues in Castlepark, and we've had issues around these machines in my own estate in Inishmore as well, is actually that the culprits are not those living in the area and not living in the community. They're coming in from other estates to cause havoc and cause wreck, and that's one of the particular issues we're having in the area here.
We know that the lack of guards is a major problem. We have a fantastic Garda station in Ballincollig, state-of-the-art building, yet it's like I know the traffic core operate out of there and everything like that, and it is used, but there's nobody there to man it 24 hours a day to reassure people. But let's start at the entry points. Can we do anything there? The council right now, can they put up bollards? Can they block off a few of the entry points, making it more difficult to gain access? Because Castlepark, you really want to know your way around there. It is like a maze.
It can be. I mean, the person who's authored that email is correct in that there are multiple entry points. I mean, there's one main road into the estate, but there's also a couple of alleyways and a link into Beach Park, which I think is causing a particular issue around these bikes and these scooters, because even if the Gardaí were to arrive into the estate, there's an easy exit for anyone who might be using these. So one of the things that I've asked the council to do is to look at the installation of staggered barriers to at least slow these people down as you know, they try and exit the estate and try to evade Gardaí.
Like, I mean, I know on some roads and parts of the city they put in what they describe as traffic calming measures, but on some occasions it's like a challenge to people, joyriders. But you need bollards, hard concrete that they cannot weave their way in and out of. You need to block those entry points today, not tomorrow.
Yeah, look, that may certainly help. Now, I just know the entrances in question. You may not stop it entirely, but it may well assist. But I mean, what we really need to see here is the Gardaí exercising the powers that they have to actually seize these machines and take them off the road in the first place. And as I say earlier, they were given that power under the Road Traffic Act. I believe that they know who a lot of these people are. You know, and they need to seize these machines and seize them urgently and get them off the road. And there's one other point I think that's worth making. I mean, you know, people don't get these machines themselves. In a lot of cases, it's parents who bought them. And look, we all know the pressure that kids put on parents coming up to Christmas time, all the rest of it. But I think, you know, some of the parents here need to have a look at themselves as well, and, you know, ask themselves, what are they doing here by buying these machines for children, effectively endangering other people in the community? A bit of cop on wouldn't go astray either.
Joe, would you walk through Castlepark yourself late at night, 11:30, 12 o'clock, just on your own? Would you walk in?
The search for the right mortgage isn't easy, but it's always better with PTSB. So whether you're buying, building, or moving, you'll get a team of your own to help you find the right rate. With dedicated options for energy-efficient homes and an online portal to track every stage of your application, start your mortgage search with PTSB. Click on the banner to learn more. PTSB. Altogether more human. Lending criteria, terms and conditions apply. Over 18s only. Security and insurance is required. Permanent TSB PLC trading as PTSB is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Who are you looking for?
William Shakespeare.
Based on the best-selling novel
Tell me a story.
of the untold love story that inspired Shakespeare's greatest masterpiece.
What story would you like?
Something that moves you.
Starring Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal.
What should I do?
Keep your heart open.
Hamnet is a monumental cinematic experience and one of the best films ever made. Hamnet. In cinemas now. IFCO 12A.
Well, I mean, I would, Paul, I know Castlepark very, very well. It's an amazing community, fantastic people there. As I say, the people who are causing these particular issues are not from the estate. They don't belong in the estate. They shouldn't be in the estate. And, you know, as soon as the Gardaí deal with this issue, get these machines off the road, Castlepark was, as I said, fantastic estate, fantastic community, and a place that I have a great affinity with. I come from Inishmore, which is the other big council estate in the village here, and you know, two great areas, unfortunately, being plagued by these people at present.
And I'm living up the road, so, and I know Castlepark well. I pop in and salt of the earth living over there, and as you said, it's outsiders that are causing the problems. But you know what it's going to take? It's going to take somebody seriously hurt or worse, somebody killed, before this is put right. This is always, we're always giving the Irish solution to an Irish problem. Wait for it all to happen.
Well, I mean, I sincerely hope that doesn't happen, Paul, and it doesn't come to that. I mean, my colleague Thomas Cllr raised this issue recently. I know that there were 19 scramblers seized in the Cork City Garda division over the past year, which is nowhere near enough compared to, I know, the amount of calls that I get as a public representative, and I know that Thomas has said he gets as a public representative. So we need to see the Gardaí exercising their powers. Heretofore, I have raised the issue with Gardaí locally here in Ballincollig. But I have requested a call with the district superintendent as well this morning to discuss this issue and ensure that Gardaí are in Ballincollig this evening, making sure that this issue is dealt with.
But as we said, Ballincollig, the Garda station, a fine facility, but not open 24 hours a day. But is Ballincollig policed by Cllr now or Gran?
It's now in the Cllr district, Paul. But look, there are Gardaí available at all hours of the day. I think we should, make that clear.
Oh yeah,
So whether
guards are on duty. Yeah, we
not.
know guards are on duty 24/7, but they're not always in Ballincollig. They could be out the road, they could be over in Cllr, they could be out in Ovens, whatever the case would be. But it's come now to a situation where there needs to be a presence in Ballincollig.
Absolutely. And look, one of the issues that I raised with the Gardaí this week is the fact that this seems to be happening almost as a pattern at a very kind of similar hour of the day. So, from a policing point of view, I would hope that, something proactive can be enacted to ensure that this issue is dealt with, that we get these machines off the road and that people can live their lives in peace and free from the scourge of these people causing havoc.
And by the way, this is not a slight on any of the men and women in uniform. They do a wonderful job. This all starts at the top because, the Department of Justice allocating budgets, and that's what it's coming down to. It's no money before people's safety.
Absolutely. Look, we have some fantastic Gardaí here locally who do incredible work in the community. But, ultimately they need the resources to be able to do their jobs and to ensure that this issue is dealt with along with many others.
And I know yourself and local councillors out there, Councillor Colin Cllr, I know he's well aware of the situation as well. And it's something that you're passionate about. You're not going to leave this, you're not going to take this line down really, Joe.
Absolutely not, because look, at the end of the day, this is a serious community safety issue. I've seen videos of some of this happening, and it's scary stuff, Paul, and it has to be dealt with. I can only imagine what it's like to be living in the area as all of this is going on around you, so it has to be dealt with.
All right, Joe Lynch, Councillor for Sinn Féin for Cork City Council, thanks for taking the call, talking to us this morning. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul. Bye-bye.
Joe, they're reacting to that very, very worrying and horrifying email from a person living in Castlepark in Ballincollig. I hope things will work out. They're living in fear. They won't give their name. Something has to be done. And that person who sent the email, I would ask you please to keep in touch with us, and don't worry, you will never be identified, and we're here to help you. We're trying to help you. If there's anything happens, let us know. You know where we are. There's somebody on the blower 24 hours a day. Let us know what goes on. Keep an eye on it, because we're thinking of you. And what's happening in Ballincollig is happening, as I said, in Carrigaline. It's happening in Douglas. There's antisocial behaviour everywhere. And until the guards are given the extra resources, until they have the powers to go out there and take these men and young thugs off the roads, well, nothing will be done. We wish them well. Thank you indeed for that email.
Cork's 96 FM.